Hello. So, we've all been through a collective trauma, not just in terms of the disease, but also the social and the economic chaos along with it. Um, my hope is this video helps you to process what happened and helps you to have more clarity and more focus and more energy to focus on the present and to make the future better. It seems like we're at the end of this tunnel. It seems like there's light at the end of the tunnel. We're not quite there yet, but even when we are there, it's so important to process what's occurred to be able to completely clear the space for new growth to occur. So that is the focus of this video. Number one, focus on how you've gotten stronger through this last year, how you've become more wise and more able to handle adversity. We have handled things. We've been through a time period that nobody really was anticipating. A time period that hasn't been experienced for about 100 years since the last major pandemic. Thankfully, it wasn't as fatal as that last pandemic, but there was so much, I would argue, even more chaos, not in terms of fatalities, but in terms of just the world. It's a beautiful thing that the world is so connected, but it also can be even all the more confusing. Like, wait, what's happening in Italy? What's happening and where did it come from in China? And what does it mean for us here or there? Or it's a lot. And for all of us as individuals, it has helped us to grow tremendously, to be able to have gone through something like that, and to still be going through it. But I think the worst is past. 2020 was a very intense year, especially about a year ago from the making of this video. That spring, it was very challenging. So I think that's something that's really important, is focus on how these experiences have made you better. And that brings us to number two. Focus on what you're going to do next in life. This is so important, obviously in terms of just what we've been through, but also in terms of what's going on astrological transit wise, because Jupiter and Saturn are both in Aquarius. So the focus on the future is there for all of us, and especially for you as an Aries. This is so exciting because these energies are fueling you. They're feeding your excitement. You're discovering who you are even more so than ever. You're innovating your life. You're growing the skills and the knowledge necessary to be able to do whatever it is that you want to do for this next phase. And I think that's something that's kind of a guiding light, a guiding couple of questions to keep in mind during this time is, how can you bring out the best in yourself to help bring out the best in humanity? How can you lighten up the world and get it smiling and laughing again? These transits, the opportunity that they're offering all of us, and especially for you as an Aries, with all of these ideas and the flow and being able to meet people and to make things happen that before just weren't possible. I mean, throughout even just your life up until this point, let alone the last year or so. It's really amazing. It's really exciting. I think, especially though, considering the challenges that we've been through, all of that negativity, it's time to sublimate that into positivity, to be motivated by those challenges. And of course, it's not like we can ever we can't fully change trauma into a good thing, but we can look at the bright side and we can augment that bright side into some really wonderful blessings for ourselves as individuals and for the world at large. So I think that's something that's really important for you to ask, is how can I as an Aries bring out the best in myself to help bring out the best in humanity? What is it that I can be excited about and smile about and laugh about and make my life a dream and a really wonderful experience that will then inspire and spark the hearts of others and help make them all the better for it too, and to do the same for themselves? Because as an Aries, you are the pioneer, you are the leader in so many ways that gets stuff started. It's the spark of the zodiacal cycle. Aries is. It starts with Aries and it goes all the way through until Pisces, and then it starts again with Aries, and it just keeps on going. So ask yourself this: being born as this spark in the universe, how can I bring out the best in myself to bring out the best in others? It's a task ultimately that we all have to do our part. Like with everything in life, it takes every single energy, every single vibe, every single person, on this zodiacal wheel. Everybody has their role to play, their blessings to offer and to contribute. And yours is, how can I get started and inspire others to get started as well? And again, to bring out the best in your excitement and what is fun for you. That's really essential. Focusing on what the world needs can be helpful to some extent, but ultimately it's about what is bringing out the best in you. Because really what the world needs is whatever, a quote comes to mind. A quote's very similar to what I'm saying. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but essentially what the world really needs is for people to come alive. And you are one of those individuals that can really come alive in an amazing, dynamic, special way. And that inspires others. Number 3, while we're focused on the future and how to go from here on out to make life more positive, and especially to change this negativity to positivity, to sublimate it, number 3 is really good to keep in mind too. Allow yourself to really process what you went through. Don't just race off to the next thing. Again, to truly be able to move forward, we have to resolve the past. We have to really give ourselves the time and space to recognize what we've been through. And whereas, again, there was so much positive gained from it, it also was difficult. Again, it has been a trauma of confusion, of uncertainty, of trying to understand and trying to act in accordance with ourselves and with our communities or with society, with the world. It's been a lot to process. And there's been a lot of fear there too, either fear of the disease or fear of all sorts of fear. Again, social and economic as well. So for you to really run free, you have to be able to look down and ask yourself, subconsciously, what chains are still binding my feet? What do I need to resolve? What do I need to process? Do I need to cry? Whatever it is, it's really important to process these things. And a key way of doing so is partly in action. Action can be really helpful, working through these things as per working out, that can be helpful. But really that's action and, being excited about doing the next thing. That can only do so much. It can do a lot, don't get me wrong. But another key part of it, I see it as kind of like 50-50 here. The other 50% is reaching out and talking about what you've felt, your fears, your vulnerabilities, your concerns with loved ones over this last year. And I think especially as an Aries, but for all of us, the focus was just keep moving forward through a collective trauma over a period of time. Especially for an Aries, you can get so used to just keep on soldiering on that you're just kind of burying the subconscious stuff. You're burying the difficult days, the difficult emotions, whatever. And it's so important to now that we're at this light at the end of the tunnel, to really unearth that and to let it go, to really bury it for good in a positive. I don't even think that's the right metaphor. I think the right metaphor is to burn it, to burn it by talking about it, letting the emotions out, processing the fear, the whatever it might have been, the sadness that you've been through over this last year, and especially a year ago. It's essential to really process what we've been through, to be able to clearly and ably focus on where we're going, and to be able to get there. We have to resolve the past. And again, part of that is talking about it with loved ones or a therapist, whoever necessary for you to really feel like you're understood and you're empathized with as per what you've been through. As well as being there for your loved ones, to help them get through this as well, and to burn those old feelings away, and to make ash to be able to grow new experiences from. And number 4, look forward to having fun with no restrictions again. Again, we're at this light at the end of the tunnel. It's really exciting. But I think just as much as it's important to look forward and to enjoy even just the present moment and how things have lightened up in certain ways, it's so important to pace yourself. I said this, in the Sagittarius and the Leo energy, or Leo videos as well. Fire energy as well, just like air energy, like myself, But still, I have a lot of fire energy myself, so I know this is like from personal experience as well. It's it's so important to pace yourself. We don't want to crash and burn right out the gate. It's so important. We're ending this cycle. We're ending this phase. We're about to move forward in a definitive way, slowly but surely. It's not even slowly. Well, I don't know. In certain ways, step by step, we're moving forward, and it's important to pace yourself just like you've paced yourself over this last year. Not necessarily to the same extent, of course, and there's not the same restrictions, so beautiful. But it's important to not, again, crash and burn. We want to take our time. And this goes for everything. This goes for having fun, especially if you're intaking substances, drinking or smoking or whatever. It's really important to pace yourself. And it's important to pace yourself with work too, with things that you're passionate about. Again, we've been through a marathon. We need to use that energy and that pent up energy to run another marathon, but not the same kind of marathon, a more positive marathon, a fun one that we chose and is our guiding for ourselves. So keep that in mind, especially since transiting Jupiter and Saturn and Aquarius are looking at the long term. It's so important for you to not get caught up in the short term and lose control and then maybe spiral out of control and again crash and burn. So we can avoid that. We can avoid any challenge with enough conscious awareness and practice implementing that awareness. So that's something else to keep in mind. If you have any tips for fellow Aries, please share them. It's always wonderful to see in the comments when people are helping each other, when they're venting and just letting stuff out where they maybe don't have that opportunity to do so in other places, where people are offering ideas to each other and support and empathy. And especially for this series, it's been really beautiful to see. So please, I welcome you. I invite you to share your experiences, your thoughts, your insights, etc. in these comments. It really can make a difference and change people's lives. And lastly, I'm so excited. I've been working on a book series for about a year and a half. And the first volume is in a 3-volume part series is going to be available late May. And this series is astrological natal chart placements, focused on astrological natal chart placements. The first volume is the rising, the sun, and the moon energy. So right there, you have the rising energy, you have the sun, of course, sun and Aries, the house placement for the sun, the moon energy, and the moon house placement. If you're born on a cusp, then you can add even more info to that. Like myself, I have rising Leo 1 degree. So rising Leo as well as rising Cancer would be things that I would be reading if I didn't write them. So this is really exciting. And also you can learn about loved ones with this comprehensive, it's every single energy, of course, for the rising sun and moon, as well as the houses. So there's so much good stuff here. I really invite you to check it out. In the about section is a link to be able to buy it when it becomes available. Again, late May is what I'm shooting for. The second volume is Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Jupiter, and that should be available by late August, September. By the way, volume 1 is shaping up to be about 160,000 words. Each placement has a minimum of 4,000 words. For the rising and the moon, and then the sun has a minimum of 5,000 words. So, and this is really heartfelt stuff. It's me pouring thoughts and insights from the last 10 years of being a professional astrologer. So it's not just like, oh, Aries can sometimes be selfish. It's like, no, we're going in depth. We're getting into the nice nuances, and yes, there are challenges, but how to sublimate those challenges into the positive, and how to make the gifts all the better. And I'm really excited. I really love it. It's going really good. So there's that. There's two other astrology books that I'm working on, but we'll talk about that another time. One actually I do want to talk about real quick is it's about what I've learned spiritually and psychologically and philosophically from studying astrology for the last 10 years. And that should be available later this year or early this next year. So yeah, very exciting. So again, I encourage you to focus on, for your future, how you want to grow as an individual, what you want to accomplish. The time is ripe to be able to really set a comprehensive vision for your future and to conquer goals that make that future a reality. And again, it's all the more important for what we've been through to sublimate that negativity into positivity. So as long as you're doing your part, then you'll inspire others to do their parts. And no matter what, you'll be bringing out the best in yourself. Infinite love to you, my friends. Namaste. Peace.